Good morning to all attendees. My name is Sven Jenschuer. I'm the Technical Sales Manager of Electronic Assembly. We are a manufacturer for LCD and other display solutions. And I will tell you something about how to choose the right display and a little bit about the technology and the application of the displays. So before starting the presentation, I want to give you an overview about our vision. We want to revolutionize the display market by providing displays which are very easy to use for the customers and offering a high quality and long availability to the customers. Many customers have the problem that most of the parts they can get in the market are only available for 2 or 3 years, then they have to make a redesign. And we are going the way that we are offering availability to the customers for at least the next 5 years, and most of our components, most of our displays are available for more than 10 years. In my presentation of today, I will give you a short introduction about some details of our company, how we are working, and then I'm going to tell you something about the different display product families. Now, if you are knowing some technical details of the different displays, it will be much easier for you to choose the right display for your application. Then I will make a summary and show to you some special applications and which display will be very useful for one of the special applications. Our company, the company Electronic Assembly, was founded in 1977. Since this time we are doing design in display. We are very experienced in display technologies. It's a family-owned company. It's still family-owned company. We are around 25 employees here in Germany. It includes the engineering department, quality department. The stock is here in Germany. We are located near Munich. The town is called Gülching. The production and distribution of displays is made here in Germany, and some components for sure we will get from Asia. We have long-term partners who are producing the parts according to our design. So generally the complete design of our components is made by us. So we have the full information and the full bill of materials in our hands, that we can choose the high quality components and to pay attention that there are only high quality components used and that the components are available for a really long time, that we can offer a very long availability to our customers regarding our complete module series. We think we have one of the largest stock in Europe. We have around about 2,000 different solutions which we can offer ex stock. There are many options we can offer. I will show to you some more later in this presentation. As I mentioned, the design and support is made here in Germany. We are focused on high quality design. We are only using high quality liquid for the LCD modules. We are only using high quality LEDs for the backlight. The final assembly is made here generally in Germany. We are ISO certificated according to ISO 9001 and also 14000. We are offering first level technical support. That means if you have any questions about our product, questions about how to use our product, questions about which will be the best solution for your application, regarding your application, you can send us an email, and the engineer who made the design of the display can answer you the questions directly, or you can also give us a call and you can discuss your issues with our engineers, directly with our engineers, with me as the technical salesperson. However you want. It's really easy for you to get information. You don't need to wait until someone is taking care. You can directly send an email or call us. Small and medium quantities are generally offered out of our stock. So let me say quantities 10, 500, 1,000 is no problem to get them directly. And we are not offering any MOQ to the customers. So the customer is free to order 1, tomorrow 10, customer can order 100. If it's mass production, customer can place order for 50,000 pieces. And the smaller quantities, 500, we can directly ship them out. That customer can directly go into production and don't need to wait 12 weeks for some parts of the LCD. We are working since more than 30 years, as I mentioned before. There are some displays in the market which are used for 10 or 15 years in a machine, and maybe the display is broken, or the LED backlight or CCFL backlight is going dark after 10 years, 20 years usage. Then it's also no problem for us to repair these parts, even if the parts are 20 years old or something else. You can ask us or you can send us the parts, we can repair it, and you can still use your high-cost machine without doing any redesign. So this is a kind of a flexible service which we are offering to the customer. Additionally, if you need customized solutions, we also can offer the customized solutions or semi-customized solutions to you. If you need more brightness, if you need less brightness to save some money, it's no problem, but we can offer to you a change in the products. The most interesting will be our stock for the customers. So we are offering a kind of standard. The first display family I want to introduce, it is called the eDIP, the DIP family. This family, all the parts out of this family have high brightness, high contrast. The contrast is very good optimized. We are optimizing the ITO trace layout on the glass layer, the liquid, and the polarizer. It's also only used high quality polarizer. You don't need to add any external temperature compensation. It's included in these displays. The mounting is pretty easy. You can put it onto the PCB and solder it, and that's all. You don't need to use any screws. You don't need to add additional pin headers. Everything is included in the module. You can see it in the presentation here on the right side. There are some samples also with different colors. There are different sizes available, different kinds of display available. In this case, it's LCD technology. You can see we are offering character-based displays. They're pretty easy to use. Or you can also have a graphical display if you need to show more details in the display, or if you want to be free what you can show, or what do you want to show. There are a series of displays which are pin compatible, so you can start up with a character-based display, and then later you can go to a graphical display. You can change the color, and the pin compatibility is always the same. It's a very solid construction. The construction is with a metal bezel and PCB. Behind on the PCB there is the controller. And for graphical displays, we can also offer resistive touch panel. In our data sheets and on our website, you find many detailed information about our displays and how to use the displays. Here are some examples. You can see how is the contrast adjustment made, or how can you make the contrast adjustment on your side. You have an initialization example in the datasheet where you can see which values are necessary to initialize the display. Every display needs to be initialized because the LCD controller on the display or on the PCB for the display don't know which kind of display glass, and it doesn't know which size and how many dots or how many characters are on the display. So you need to initialize the controller to say him which glass is behind and which glass needs to be controlled. Therefore, is the initialization routine. Here you can find the values, and on our website you can also find programming examples. It's written in assembler, it's written in C, mostly in C. It's very easy. You can adapt, copy this initialization routine to your source code, and you don't need to find out every single value. The interface you can choose for the most of the displays on your own. Here in this case of the eDIP 4x20 character display, you can use parallel interface. It's very well known from the early beginning of LCD module usage. It's similar to the HD 44780 standard. Or if you want to save some ports of your controller, you can also control the display via SPI. You only need 3 or 4 wires, so only 3 or 4 ports of your microcontroller, and that's all. So in this case, controlling by serial interface, you can save ports. The next family is the dock family. This is a very, very big family. You can choose, or you need to choose, the glass and the LED backlight separately. So it makes it very easy to you to choose the display according to your color needs. So for the glass, you can choose between 5 different glass options. There are positive mode glass. Positive mode glass means that the dots you're showing are black and the background is made by the backlight, or the background is made by the environment light if you are using a reflective display. Reflective display means that there is no LED backlight behind. The picture is only shown by the environment light, the light in the environment. For the backlights, we have up to 7 different backlight options. Here you can see we have green one, we have red one, we have blue one, we have white one. We also have multicolor like RGB, red, green, blue, or we have backlight with white, green, and red. So it's up to you, it's up to your needs. Mostly the customers are choosing the backlight or the color combination according to the corporate design. But it's also an issue regarding the application. So I mentioned that we have positive mode displays. We also have negative mode displays. Negative mode display means that the dots or the color of the dots will be made by the backlight, and the background is made by the display glass. So we can have a black background, or we can have a blue background. But in this case of negative mode display, it's essential to use LED backlight, or to use a backlight. It is not possible to use this kind of displays without backlight. So if you have, for example, handheld application, battery powered, it is better to use a positive mode display because you can turn off the backlight completely and you still can see the content in the display if you have some light around it. It is a transmissive display with reflective values. This display of the dock family are also easy for mounting. You're putting together the glass and the backlight, and then you can solder it directly into your PCB. And it's a very good connection. It's a very reliable connection because it is soldered into your PCB. And no flex cable can be broken or connector can getting old. It's directly soldered into the PCB. There are also different sizes and different kinds. One kind are the alphanumeric, so character-based displays. Other kinds graphical-based displays. In the presentation, you can see the pictures of the dock M162 or stock M163. There are a couple of more displays. There are totally 4 different sizes, but with the same pinning. You can choose between 1x8, 2x16, or 3x6x16, or graphical display. All these displays have the same outline dimension and have the same pinning. And in this case, it's also very easy for you to change after a while to another display without big changes in your design. And also for this displays, we are looking for only high quality components, also regarding the controllers, and that the controllers are very long available, that you can purchase these displays for more than 10 years. In the case of the dock family, the displays only have or provide serial interface. It's the, let me say, innovative design, because you don't need to spend 4 plus 3, so 7 or 11 ports from your microcontroller. You only need to spend 3 or 4 ports from your microcontroller to control the display. You can use this display with single power supply. This means also for the backlight. Most of the backlights in the market are driven with 5 volts. In the case of our backlights of the dock family, you can choose. You can drive them with 5 volts, or you can drive them also with 3.3 volt. So regarding a 3.3 volt single power supply, it's very useful for you. For example, the application for handhelds. Mostly you have only one power supply in your handheld, especially if it's battery powered. You don't want to use a couple of DC-DC converters, which are only using too much power from your batteries. And for the handheld application, it's the best solution for you. Only one power supply. Only one voltage. Touch panel. You can also get the touch panel for the graphical displays. For each graphical display, you can choose every part on your own and directly out of our stock. In the datasheets, for sure, you also find application notes and socket information, many details in the datasheet, and additionally initialization routine or programming examples, how to show text or how to show a picture in a graphical display on our website. And for these parts, you can also choose the interface. In the case of the smaller ones, you already can, or you still can use parallel interface, but most of the customers don't do this because you need more ports from your microcontroller. For the graphical one, you need 8-bit data bus plus additionally 3 control lines, so you need at least 11 ports, and for the serial interface you only need 3 to 4 ports, and that's all. For our displays, we have many accessories. In case of the dock family, we are offering a demo board. You can see this here in the presentation on the right side. You can plug in the display onto the board. You can plug in the board via USB to your Windows computer. You only need to install the USB driver. And then you can directly show text on the character display, or you can directly show pictures on the display, and you can verify if it's the right color combination for your application, and you can directly see how it is looking on the display, what you want to show. Especially for displays, you cannot buy a display out of a datasheet. You need to see the display. You can see the display on our site here in our office. If it's too far away, it's no problem. You can use the USB demo board, plug in onto the demo board the display which you have chosen, and you can directly see how it's looking. We're also offering a simulator for Windows. The simulator, in the simulator you can choose the different glass options, you can choose the different backlight options, and you can get a first information how it looks, or how the display will looking regarding the combination you have chosen. And then you can purchase the right combination, and you can verify it with the USB demo board. If you are using a touch, we also can offer the right touch connector, or if you want to use the display with sockets, that you don't want to solder the display directly in your PCB. If you want to use sockets, we can also offer to you the sockets. It's everything. It's out of one hand. For more evaluation or for development, for the dog series, we are offering Arduino shields. Arduino shield means it's a PCB which can be plugged in directly onto the Arduino Uno. And we are also offering the right libraries to control the display with an Arduino board. If you want to design your own fonts, you can use our font editor. The font editor, also with the dock simulator software, it's for free. And you can make your own design with this. The next display family is intelligent display family. Intelligent means that you don't need to program every dot in the display. You can use, or you are using, our functions and our commands to tell the display what the display should show. And there is no boot sequence in the display. If you are turning the power on, you can immediately use the display. The display is ready to use after a blink of an eye. How easy you can use the graphical intelligent displays. I can show to you an example. Here you will see the example. If you want to have a barcode, let me say a barcode with touch slider function to control the brightness of the display, or to control the brightness of your application, or to control any values in your application. You only need to use two commands, and that's all to design such a complicated function on the display. If you want to program this on your own without any external help and without any knowledge how to control the display, how to read out a touch panel, you will need at least 3 months to design such a touch slider. Here it takes a few seconds. You can make the picture of the bar graph and you can add a touch slider function. You can see it's for the bar graph, one command, and additionally some values. You can see in green the position and the size of the bar graph. Then in yellow you can see the value. The value you can read out the adjusted value from the display. So in this case, it's an example that the left value is according to 0 and the right value is according to 100. For example, 100%. You can also change these values to from 10 to 50. And then you can read out from the display which value you have adjusted by the touch slider. And written in black, you can see the type of the graph. You can choose with one value different types of graphs. They are included in the firmware of the display, and you don't need to draw this on your own. Only to say I want to have here the graph number 5, and then it's looking like the green bar graph you can see on the lower right side. If you are using touch panel, you can use touch slider function. It's only one command, and touch slider function is usable. How easy this can be used, I will show to you directly at the display. For this, I need to stop sharing the presentation and need to turn on the camera. Now you can see the display with our standard demo file. Now I'm opening the programming software. It's called Kit Editor. I will show to you the Kit Editor. Now you can see my screen. Here we have the Kit Editor. I will open the right software. You can find all samples of all of our commands which you can use. It's included in the software. It's for free. There are how to use examples, how to use a bar graph, for example. I'm sending the program to the display. Now I will stop sharing the software and only sharing the webcam. So now you can see the bar graph and how to use it. In this case, it's combined with the brightness adjustment of the display. Here we have 100% according to our programming. And here we have 0%. And every value between can be adjusted. And every value between you can also read out of the display and to use it to control something in your application. Now I'm sending back the complete demo software to the display. The program which was written can have different sizes. In this case, our demo program is a little bit bigger, so it takes a few seconds more to send it to the display, because there are many different font sets inside. There are some pictures inside, but as you can see, it's already very fast.
Sorry to interrupt you, but we cannot see the presentation.
Okay, right now I only have shared the webcam.
Okay.
The video of the display. You can see it?
No, I cannot see the video right now.
Okay, then I think I will go back to the presentation. So I'm sorry that you cannot see the video. So here we are back in the presentation. I have also added some pictures of the software into the presentation. Here in this window, you can see the demos, how to use demos, which you can choose and send to the display. And you can see in the demos how easy it is to use the intelligent display. And the intelligent display is, or you can use the intelligent display, you can control the intelligent display with a very small microcontroller. If you have an 8-bit microcontroller and in the past you have controlled the small character display with your controller, it's no problem to change to the intelligent display. Even you can choose 7-inch full color display, and you don't need to change anything in your hardware. You can control the display with your 8-bit microcontroller hardware, because you can save all the content functions into the display. And then you only need to control the display from external with command. And all the commands you have included in the display can be combined in a macro. And if you are opening one macro, the complete display content will be shown. Here we have the samples for bar graph, for how to draw lines, circles, and so on, these things, but also how to show fonts. You can change the font direction within 90-degree steps. It's also only made by command. We have instrument editor. You can, on your Windows PC, you can design externally instruments, and then you can include it into your display programming, and you can send it to the display and save it there. That it is very easy for you to use some instruments. The value of the instrument, or the information which is shown in the instrument, can come from the analog input or digital input, or you can also send the values directly from your application to the display, and the display is showing the value in the instrument or directly showing the value as a 7-segment number value, for example. The eDIP display family, if you want to program it with the editor, you can download it free from our website. So after the presentation, you can also have a first test with the software. You can see how easy it is to program. We are also offering a simulator where you can see it on your PC, and you don't need a display for the first steps. The powerful commands are included in the firmware. You only need to use it in the programming. If there are any questions, you can directly call, or you can ask our engineers by email or by phone. It's a very easy to use solution because you don't need to program every pixel and every function on your own. You're using our complicated functions, and you can program the display, complete display within a few weeks. If you are only showing easy things, you can program the display within 2 days. And that's all. You don't need to spend half a year of engineering power to program a TFT full color LCD. You only need to spend a couple of days, a couple of weeks. Some of the technical features, although the intelligent eDIP series has a single power supply, you can choose a touch panel. You can choose if you want to have touch panel between capacitive or PCAP solution, or you can have a resistive touch panel. The interface, it's a serial interface. You can choose between RS232, SPI, or I2C. To start very easy with the displays, you can use our evaluation kit. The evaluation kit includes a PCB where you can plug in the display. There are a couple of different interface PCBs. If you need RS485, you can use this. Or if you only want to program it, you can plug in the demo board via USB to your Windows computer. The kit editor is for free. You can open the kit editor. Before usage, you need to install the USB drivers, but that's all. You can immediately start to making the design of your content. If you want to control something with the display, you can use the digital outputs. If you want to control the display by any external events, you can use the digital inputs. Or if you want to send analog information to the display, you can use the two or one of the two analog inputs. And the display can show the value of the analog input directly as a number value on the screen. How to use here, you can see the demo file. In this window, you can see that in one demo folder, there are a couple of different files. there are KMI files and KMC files. So let me say the main file is the KMC. You can open the KMC file, and the KMI files are a part of the main file, but it will automatically include it when you're compiling the software to the display. So to open something, or to open samples, or to open the demo, you only need to open the KMC file. In this case, in this demo file, you can see the picture on the right side. There are all the different functions shown in the display, how to use inputs, outputs, how to use the fonts, how to use, or how can it look if you're using bar graph instruments. You can add pictures to the displays, or you can add animation. In the display are different designs of touch button included. And if you're using the evaluation board, you can simulate the digital inputs, digital outputs via the evaluation board. There are a couple of switches on the evaluation board. There are a couple of LEDs to show the output information. The switches are for the input information, and there are some potentiometer to simulate the analog input. Here you can see the simulator. If you are opening the demo software of the display type EA eDIP 240-7, it's a monochrome intelligent display. You can see that we'll be opening a simulator window where you can directly see on your screen what you have programmed. You only need to activate in the software the simulation command, and that's all. The accessory for the eDIP family, we are offering bezels for the display. We are offering mounting flaps for the display. We are putting it on the side of the display in the metal frame, and then you can mount it directly onto the bezel, and the complete module with bezel, you can mount it easily in your front cover in your device. Here additionally you can see the evaluation kit, which I explained before, and the kit editor software, which is just for free. This is our OLED family. The OLED family, or technology of the OLED, has some advantages against the LCD technology. It has ultra-wide temperature range, operating temperature range, especially for the negative temperature. The OLED can be used, can operate at a temperature down to -40 degrees. And the response time is still very fast at the negative temperature. For the LCD at -20 degrees, the LCD will need around about 2 seconds to change the content. For the OLED, it's already around about 10 microseconds. So the response time at the negative temperature range is still very, very fast. The design of these OLEDs were made to be compatible to LCD, so that you can easily change an LCD with OLED without any mechanical changes. Inside the controller, there are integrated different character fonts, also character fonts like Cyrillic or European. It's already included in the controller. There is no need to use another controller to have such fonts. The interface is quite similar to LCD driving. If you are starting new, you can also have a look on our website. We have application notes also for the OLED family. We have application notes for all of our families with some programming examples for initialization routine, for how to show characters, how to show graphics, if it's a graphical one. In the case of the OLED family, the standard is a character-based display. If you need graphical one, don't hesitate to ask. We can also offer a graphical one, but it's more a project-based solution. The interface which is supported can be parallel or can also be serial interface. It's up to you, you can choose it on your own. Both is included in the module. Now I'm coming to a summary about our display families. For the EA eDIP series, you can see one example here, the blue-white one. It's a ruggedized design. It's a very robust design with the metal bezel with PCB. But it's also a slim design. They are not a big PCB behind, which takes much space of your in your application. So also the outline dimension is optimized for this kind of displays. And for this, it's able and useful for handheld application where you mostly don't have much space around the display. The EA dot family, it's a very flat design. With the backlight, we are around 6 mm. Only the glass, if you're only using the glass, it's around about 2.5 millimeters. It's very thin. And there you can see, although the backlight is a very thin backlight, it's something about 3 to 4 millimeters. For the old, let me say, old-fashioned LCD parts from the past, mostly the backlight is something about 5 to 6 millimeters. But we also offered optimized the backlight with the design. The backlight usable with 3.3 volts or with 5 volts, and the thickness. And this helps to you to make a very innovative design of your device. The power consumption of the LCD glass, it's also quite low. Only the glass needs around, if you have a standard or some standard display content, it will be around 250 microamps. If you are using this with backlight, for sure you need some more. If you are using with white LED backlight, you can turn down the brightness and turn down the current consumption to 2 to 3 milliamps. For other backlights, it might be more. So if you need to save or to lower the power consumption, it's recommended to use, if you need backlight, to use a white LED backlight, because you can turn it down to 2 to 3 milliamps The EA dock series is a very cost-effective display solution. You don't have a metal bezel, you don't have a PCB, so it's a cheaper solution than the eDIP display family. For the dock family, we have more than 400 combinations. As you remember, we have seven different backlight solutions. We have 5 different glass solutions. We can offer all the graphical ones with touch panel or without touch panel, and you can combine it how you need it. If you're not sure which combination you want to have, you can use the dock simulator, or you can ask. You can ask us, distributor. You can ask us directly. It's no problem. Then we can help you to choose the right display. We can send to you recommendation which combination is useful for your application. The applicable quantity, say for the DIP series, it's from 1 up to 10 kp. If you're going to use quantities, we recommend to use the dock series because it's the more cost-effective solution. You can start with 100, you can go via 500, and to ramp up to 100K or 500K, 500,000 pieces. 500,000 is also no problem. The EA eDIP or eDIP TFT family series, it's the intelligent series. The applicable quantity is more the lower to medium sized quantities, let me say up to 2,000 pieces. If you are going to use full color TFT with very high quantity, most of the customers are doing the electronic design on their own. But it needs much more time. So at least you need to drive, fully drive a display, TFT display, 7-inch, you need 6 to 12 months, according to your experience with this. With our solution, it takes you 2 months. The design is also a very compact design. It's all in one design. The electronics to drive the display is included. It's single power supply. The software is included. You only need to use the command. All of our intelligent displays are EMI or EMC and ESD tested. We can also offer the test report of this. And as I mentioned before, it's usable with already a very small microprocessor. You don't need a powerful processor behind. Every easy processor microcontroller is usable for this solution. The OLED displays, you can also start with 10 pieces and can ramp up a couple of 100,000 pieces. The design is compatible to LCD. It has an ultra-wide temperature range from -40 degrees to +80 degrees. The biggest advantage is in the negative temperature range. The response time is very fast. Already very fast at negative temperature. At positive temperature, you need to know that the brightness is going down. So the lifetime of the OLED dots, let me say, is going down when the temperature is going up. So the yellow display color of OLED has lifetime at 25 degrees, around about 100,000 hours. But if you are going up to plus 80 degrees, it can also only something around about 5,000 or 10,000 hours. So the higher temperature range, you need to really think special about the usage of OLED. If you are more going to a negative temperature range, the OLED is the best solution in this case. Generally, the contrast is very, very good for the OLED. It's a self-emitting display, so the light is directly made by the display. For the LCD technology, it's not directly made, it's a backlight solution, so it's a light through the display solution. For ePaper, ePaper is a very special display. It's a B-stable technology. B-stable means you are sending the information to the display, then you can completely turn off the power supply, and the content is still shown on the display. So you can, after you send the content to the display, you can use the display with zero power. You only need to spend power if you want to change the content. It has a very good daylight readability. It's a reflective technology. But reflective technology also means you need ambient light. If you don't have any ambient light, you will see nothing on the display. You can put some LEDs on the side, and you can make some on top lighting. But generally, it's essential to have some ambient light around. Regarding the viewing angle is very, very good. It's nearly 180 degrees. To left, to right, and also top bottom. And it has also very, very good contrast in this case. But regarding the application, if you want to change the content every second, it's not the right display, because you need around about 2 to 3 seconds to change the content in the display. And for every change, you need power. So if you want to change the content every hour or every day, it could be a very, very good solution to save power. Now I'm looking onto some special applications and which display family or which kind of display out of one family can be used for this application regarding sunlight readability. For the sunlight readability, you can use positive mode display glass. That means that you have black characters and the background color is made by the backlight or the ambient light. Regarding the model numbering, the positive mode glass options are called W, L, or N. For the intelligent monochrome display series, you can choose the J or W option. It's also transreflective. You can also turn down the backlight, and the picture will be shown by the ambient light. For the full color TFT series, You can choose all of the displays. They have a brightness around or at least 500 nits with anti-glare surface, and they are very useful also in sunlight environment. If you want to save power and to save cost, you can use a display without backlight, completely without backlight. For example, the dock series, the right glass option with reflective technology, it's the L option or N option. Reflective means there is no possibility to use backlight. To see the content, you need some ambient light. Regarding handheld application, most of the handheld application need power saving display. There you can use the EA dock series. As I mentioned before, other slide, the power consumption, the current consumption of the glass will be around 250 microamps. If you need to use a backlight, you can choose the LED, the white LED backlight, because you can dim it down to 2 to 3 milliamps. And generally the dock series can be driven with a single power supply of 3.3 volts. If you need a little bit more ruggedized solution, you can use the eDIP series. If you want to use a graphical one and you don't want to program pixel by pixel, you can use the intelligent displays, full color TFT, or you can also use the monochrome one where you can dim down the background. Special applications like you need the highest contrast or you need the lowest brightness. For the highest contrast, you can use the negative mode displays with the glass options B, S, or E. Negative glass options, you can see the pictures on the left side. It's blue-white, so white dots on blue background, or you can use the black background, white dots on black background. If you need lowest brightness, for example, in darkroom environment, or if you are using control devices in a theater environment. In a theater, normally it's very dark around, and if you have a high brightness display, everything is lighted by the display, and you don't want to have it lighted, and it's also not good for your eyes. You can, for example, choose a negative mode black display with a red backlight. You can dim down the backlight. Then you have not the best contrast, but if there is dark environment, it is very good to have not that much contrast and not that much brightness. Another example could be using a positive mode display with a blue backlight and dimming it down. Then you can also use this in dark environment. Touch panel applications. Many customers are thinking about touch panel. Should I use touch panel or should I not use a touch panel? Generally, it depends on your application. I want to give you some ideas why to use or why not to use a touch panel solution. Generally, if you are using touch panel with a graphical display, all the buttons behind can be adjusted by software. If you are using switches in your box, you have to fix the mechanical design, and you cannot change easily the mechanical design because it costs a lot of money. So with using touch panel, you are only need to make one time a mechanical design, and there are the buttons on the display. Or if you want to change the position of the buttons, it's no problem. You're doing this by software. You can also hide buttons. It depends on which layer you are working. Then you can show some buttons or you can hide some buttons. It's a very already it's a very modern design to use a touch panel. The more modern design is to using a capacitive touch panel. The capacitive touch panel has a glass surface, so it's resistant against any fluids. The resistive touch panel has anti-glare coating and the hard coat surface. It's mechanical technology. You need to push the touch. For the capacitive touch panel, you need only you need to push it, but without any force. If you want to have the touch function integrated in the hard and software, you can use our intelligent displays out of the EA eDIP series. Otherwise, you need to read out the touch panel on your own. You can make this by AD converter inputs of your microcontroller, or you can also use special touch panel controller. If you need an emergency stop control, you can only do this by a mechanical switch. So with touch panel, it's not possible to design emergency stop control. With the touch panel, you have generally you don't have a tactile feedback. If you need a tactile feedback, you also need to go for switches. For the touch panel, you are touching it, and then you can see what will happen, but you cannot feel it. In a very harsh environment, it's necessary to protect the touch. The resistive touch is made of glass and PET, and it's normally the touch panel are very thin. If you want to protect it against fluids, you can put a plastic front cover onto the resistive touch panel. If you need a more ruggedized capacitive touch panel, with our touch panel solutions, you can put additional glass onto the capacitive touch up to 3 millimeter thickness. But there is something you need to put on the touch if you need a special protection. In the case of our families, resistive touch panel is available for all our graphical displays. Capacitive touch panel right now is available for the 4.3-inch and 7-inch of the eDIP family series. More sizes will come soon. Every family is growing and growing. So thank you very much for your attention. If there are some questions, we can answer these questions now.
Okay, thank you also for your attention, and thank you, Sven, for your presentation. So please feel free to ask any question. If you also have questions after this webinar, you can feel free to contact us, and we will manage all the information you need to know. So far, Sven, I don't see any question in the Q&A form. So really, if you have any question, feel free to answer. So there's none question. So Sven, thank you very much once again for your presentation. Thank you to everybody for your attention and for your attendance of this webinar. Whole record from this webinar will be published at our webpage next week, so you can check our web pages, and also I will be glad to welcome you to our next webinar that we are planning in the future. Whole list of the webinars will be available at our web page. So thank you one more time for it. I have one question, so just a second. So here's the question: is there any possibility to get some samples?
Yes, for sure.
So regarding these samples, I will contact you and discuss further possibilities about getting samples. So our product manager will contact you.
Yes, sure. For example, it's no problem to contact the distributors or to contact us directly.
Okay. So one more time, thank you for the presentation, and also thank you for your attendance and attention. And looking forward to meet you at our further webinars. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Bye-bye.